Hello and welcome to another video, a new series. I don't know how many series we have on this channel that we've started and we're doing, but we're doing another one. This is what I've been wanting to do for at least a year now, and this is going through each year of the Oscars and just reviewing the results, the winners, the nominees, kind of giving opinions on it, doing a little discussion about it. Cattails with me again, always.
Hello.
So when it comes to the Oscars, I don't take them seriously. I don't put a whole lot of weight into them. But what they do is they give a lot of fuel for debate and conversation. And particularly when comparing performances or films. Did this deserve that, you know? So it's like if this movie deserved a Best Picture nominee, it's not necessarily I'm saying did it deserve it in the eyes of the Academy, but just would I consider it a Best Picture nominee in my own thing, you know?
Yeah.
How do you, is that more or less how you see it too?
I see it that way, but I also acknowledge that the Academy definitely has its biases, and you're not going to escape that. So at the end of the day, you can't take the Oscars like super seriously because they're going to pick something dumb because it's the Academy. You just have to accept it.
Yeah. Which is true, but it's also inconsistent. Particularly looking at the most recent year. It's inconsistent, but it's true. They have their favorites and whatnot. And you'll notice patterns. You know, they do not like to give repeat wins for some reason. It's just stupid. But anyway, yeah. Let's start. So we're doing the 2023 Oscars, which cover the 2022 Oscars. So make sure you keep that in mind when we go through these, is when we say a certain year, that's always going to be covering the previous year's movies. So if you're looking for a certain movie, check the video we do, which is the year after the movie came. So we're going to go through this top to bottom, starting with actor in a leading role. So Brendan Fraser won here for The Whale. I've seen The Whale. I think he more than earned this Oscar, the nomination and the win. I think that's fair. I will say I was rooting for Austin Butler because I had seen Elvis. At the time of the Oscars when we watched it, I hadn't seen The Whale yet, and I saw Elvis. I thought Austin Butler should have gotten it. And I do think he rightfully could have won, but against Brendan Fraser, that's a debate. I don't think you've seen any of these performances.
No, I'll only be chiming in for something I have.
He'll chime
seen.
in on certain things. We'll try to go through this, you know, or try to keep these at a certain length, not as long like the
There's a lot of categories, so.
Yeah. Interestingly, Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin, you know what? I can't really remember his performance. I was not a huge fan of this film in the first place, but ultimately I don't really remember his performance.
Have you ever heard of After Sun or Living?
I have heard of After Sun, haven't heard of Living, although he's a good actor, so this doesn't surprise me. I don't know if he's ever won, actually. One thing I will say about actor in a leading role, Tom Cruise was not nominated for Best Actor for Top Gun Maverick, and this is likely the reason why he did not even attend the Oscars, even though Top Gun Maverick got a lot of nominations. This, again, like we just talked about, what falls under the category of Best Actor, or as they put it, actor in a leading role. They keep changing the names of these things. You know, sure, his performance in the movie was maybe not Oscar nominated, but it's everything that he did for the film and his character that a lot of people argued he should have been recognized for. So maybe, you know, discuss that, leave a comment or whatever, weigh in on that. I'll put it this way: if he was nominated, if he was one of the nominees, I would not have been upset with it, and I would have understood it. Okay, actor in a supporting role. I have seen all of these except for Causeway. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Ke Huy Quan. Apologies.
That's completely butchered.
Whatever. This was. Oh, this is the Indiana Jones dude?
Yeah.
Short round. Okay,
Short round.
Yeah. This one was earned. This is the right call. I should have mentioned that before. I don't know if I mentioned that in the intro. We're sorting these years by whether or not overall we think they got most of them right, most of the winners. So as you can already tell by the title, we thought that this year they got them mostly right. That doesn't mean they got them all right. We'll get to the other ones. But
our
this
biases will also definitely show. Like, I'm a big fan of Everything Everywhere, so I'm going to be a lot more charitable towards it than...
Right. I think this is two. Two forgot it right. Brendan Gleeson, I do remember his performance out of Banshees, but I do think this is the right choice over that. I don't remember this Fabelman's one, and I don't remember this one from Banshees. Actually, you know what? I do remember this one, but this is still the right choice. Actress, Michelle Yeoh. Again, correct choice. I did see Tar, and I did see Fabelman's. This, you know what? I can see it. I know why they did it, but I disagree. And same thing here. Makes perfect sense, but this is the right choice.
Not a good trick.
Okay. Here is where I disagree. Out of what we have here, I think maybe she should have won.
Yeah, Stephanie, she should have. I think the only reason she didn't win is because she's a younger actress.
Yeah.
Which I am just... I don't even want to get into.
This makes no sense to me. Not to the same level, because nothing will be on the same level, but this is almost as bad as Mark Wahlberg getting nominated for The Departed. No, I'm pretty sure he won for The Departed. So this
Did he really?
I think so. We'll get to that year not long. But this is just no. She did her job and she gets an Oscar. I don't get it. I think it's just because her name is known and she's been around a while and she's probably had other nominations but hasn't won. So, again, this is one where they just threw it her way because, you know.
Yeah, I think this is an extremely unique case in Oscar history where the right film won the Oscar, but they won it for the wrong actress. It's just the wrong person won the award.
Yeah, or... there's other ones I know where it was, again, right film for nominated, but wrong actor, wrong actress. So,
just...
Also, separate discussion, the whole actress versus actor thing. You can weigh in on that if you have an opinion.
I still think it's going to be interesting when somebody who is non-binary gets nominated. Can they even be nominated? That's going to be a huge discussion when that happens, and I cannot wait for it to implode. But until that day comes...
You know, it's interesting. I'm listening to the Talkville podcast with Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, and whenever they talk about people they worked with on the show, they, male or female, they always refer to them as an actor. Because that's how actors talk to one another and talk about one another, is they're just actors. There is no other name for it. They even acknowledged it. They're like, they were calling him an actor, and then they're like, or actress. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I don't know. But it's like, to me, and I would imagine to a lot of people, if this even matters to you, actor is fine for both. That's what it should be. Okay, here's his turn. Animated feature film.
I am still upset about this one.
I am too.
To start off right away, Turning Red, I know some people will go against its nomination here. I think that it's fine. It was never going to win because there are two very obvious titans here. And I kind of feel bad for a lot of the other nominees that could have, maybe gotten it in a more down year. But Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, that title tells you everything you need to know about how the Oscars picked their winner. Because, no, it is not a better movie than The Last Wish. No. And 90% of people will agree with you. And everybody knows why it won. Like, yes, the movie is beautifully animated. We all know that's not why it won. We all know it wasn't because it was a darker story. We all know why it won. And this is the premier example of just bias in the Oscars shining through.
Mm-hmm. See, this is another example of what are the qualifications. What are you looking for in your best picture or best animated feature winner? Is it animation is what's the most important? Or is it storytelling? Is it voice acting? Is it, all of the above, right? What are we looking for here?
Animated feature film, it's two different categories mushed into one. It's best animation and then the best animated movie.
Which is completely inconsistent. And
I think on both accounts, I would put Puss in Boots: The Last Wish over Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, despite how impressive that movie is. It's just...
This is impressive. This is different and subversive and impressive because not only is this, like I said, different, it's unique. a unique art style, but for the studio, DreamWorks has never made a movie like this that has looked like this, and especially not at this quality in forever. So that, again, depending on what you consider should be factors into picking your winner, I think it should have factored in. And if I was, voting at the Oscars, I would have been so impressed with this. Obviously, Guillermo del Toro is going to put out a decent movie. It's going to look nice. It's going to, make sense. But this to me was just next level. So, and then, yeah, I agree with the Turning Red thing. I'm not surprised at all I got a nomination, but there was no way it was going to win.
Yeah.
So I would mark this as a miss. They got it wrong. I'm sure that's a debatable one. Some people will debate on that. But I think a lot of people would agree that Last Wish should have been.
Well, which one has had a lasting legacy?
That's true. No one has talked about this thing since the Oscars. We did watch it, and we watched this as well. I have seen Turning Red. Cinematography. Did you watch All Quiet on the Western Front?
No. It's not something I'm interested in really looking at.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it. It's just not on my list.
You liked 1917, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I did.
Okay. So this is more or less that, but with just not as good cinematography, not as tightly written, and it's just kind of, there's so much downtime in this movie. I guess that's a separate point when we get to talk about Best Picture, but yeah, sure, cinematography is good here. Tar, I kind of disagree with about the cinematography. I guess cinematography is one of those weird things where it's like, yeah, you can give bonus points for people who did a really good job, but at the end of the day, you end up with a lot of nominations that are just, what was so special about the cinematography? They did their job. They put the cameras in a good angle. They got good shots.
Casting.
We're not there yet. We don't have to deal with that yet. So that's how I kind of feel about all of these. I guess, sure, All Quiet on the Western Front would be more impressive because the set pieces were larger. They were working with a bigger,
But that's not cinematography. That's set design and production design.
It's how they filmed the set design and production. So, again, you can't have one without the other. So what exactly is getting all the points here? It's I don't know. So I guess I would mark this one as indifferent, I think. I'm not jumping to say, you know what, that's right. I understand why it won, and it does make sense to me, but just based on all of the factors, I don't see it as a complete, yeah, that's the right choice. I will say no Batman on here is a miss.
True.
But I won't go too far there. I'll just say indifferent. Costume design. Black Panther wins. I did see Black Panther. Whatever.
You've seen all of them except Miss Harris.
That's
right?
true. Yeah. I have seen all of them. I've never heard of that. Everywhere, Everything not winning, I think, is just because they wanted to give Black Panther something. I think that's what's going on here.
I can see why it didn't win for costume design. I think its costume design was obviously fantastic, which is why I got the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
I really am not one to judge costume design. Like, what are they looking for? Again, criteria. Are they looking for like detail in costumes? Are they looking for like,
is it accuracy if it's time or location? Like Black Panther was probably inspired a lot from like African cultures, so they had to do that. But same thing with Babylon was like, I think it was like very early 1900s Hollywood era, so they had to match that. There was Elvis, where you had to get all of his stuff done. If this was perfectly accurate, why wouldn't he win? Because if they did it perfectly.
Is it accuracy? Is it the amount of costumes?
Yeah. This is
reality.
I'm gonna mark this as indifferent as well.
Yeah, it's just another category where you don't know what makes a winner unless it's like super obvious.
Yeah, it's not consistent. Again, the biggest problem with the Oscars is that they are not consistent. Directing.
First appearance, the Triangle.
Oh God.
He does not like that movie.
No, this is a stupid movie. We have Fabelmans with Steven Spielberg. We got Tar. We got Banshees, and we have Everything Everywhere. You know what? After watching the Fabelmans and the rest of the movies on here, I do think this is actually warranted. Everyone's initial reaction, at least here, was that, oh, of course, Steven Spielberg had another movie, so automatically he gets a nomination for directing. Which, sure, could have been the case. But he it was directed well. I mean, it worked. It's a pretty basic movie, but it's a movie about filmmaking. So having it come off the way it did, I think deserves something. And then this winning, I think, was kind of just a lot of the writing, directing, and Best Picture are all kind of linked. Because we may get to it at another year, but something that wins Best Picture without winning directing or writing or both, it doesn't make sense. What did you like about the movie if it wasn't the direction or the writing? That's the movie. Or the acting, I guess. I don't know. If one performance is so good, the movie's 10 out of 10. That's stupid.
That's very rare.
I'm going to mark this one as indifferent.
I think the most interesting thing about the directing here, though, is that Everything Everywhere script is extremely hard to follow. Like, if you aren't paying attention. Mm-hmm. I obviously love the movie, but, like, I admit it is a hard movie to follow if you aren't paying attention.
That's true.
I do think that the directing definitely helped a lot of people, focus on the movie a lot easier than they would have otherwise. So I will give them a lot of props for that.
Yeah. This is garbage. And I will say, as much as I'm not a fan of this movie, this is not a bad way to go. So I think probably these three. Completely indifferent about Tar. Whatever.
Talking about directing versus cinematography, what's the difference? Like, exactly?
Well, see, this is where I get confused on the whole filmmaking process. How much of the work is done by the director? Doesn't the director tell them where he wants the cameras, thus cinematography?
There's a cinematographer, so
yeah, but he's just the guy behind the camera. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't understand. Maybe you had good direction, but the movie just wasn't a very cinematic movie. Therefore, you can get a director nomination, but not a cinematography.
I guess, but that feels like splitting hairs.
I don't know. Again, common
we
theme.
We can skip documentary because we haven't seen these.
We'll skip documentary, short film editing. Everywhere. Banshees, Elvis, Tar, Top Gun.
Top Gun getting its first nomination.
Top Gun, yeah. I think I wanted Top Gun to win this.
I could see Top Gun winning, but I think Everything Everywhere, once again, just...
I'll say another indifferent.
It's another one of those years, I think, where if this one specific movie didn't come out, then there would be a lot more diverse winners.
I think, for the most part, why this year wasn't all bad was because I don't think for the majority of them, the wrong choice didn't win. There was just a choice that I think I would have preferred and I think may have earned it slightly more. But we're looking at two different movies here. Top Gun Maverick is one of the most impressive, practically filmed movies of the century, probably so far. It is like up there with Mad Max Fury Road and 1917, all the practical movies. And you're always going to get that when you have a Tom Cruise movie because he won't cheap out on the effects. So that's why I think that's not necessarily film editing, but the way it was put together, you're filming real fighter jets moving around and he puts it together, gets you immersed into that movie. That's why I think it gets the edge over Everything Everywhere. But
yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that, even if,
Yeah, but like you pointed out, Everything Everywhere is a very hard movie to follow. So the film editing contributes to how you are able to follow it. So I'll mark that as indifferent. Skip international. However, All Quiet on the Western Front is probably the no-brainer compared to these.
I just want to say one thing, and that it's dumb that each country only gets to have one movie.
Yes, that's dumb, and what's also dumb is the fact that you allow Best Picture nominees in here. Because what do you think's going to win if there's one Best Picture nominee and these other ones you've never heard of? I just, think for 1 second. It's stupid. Makeup and hairstyling. The Whale, The Batman is actually a surprise. For Penguin, that's right. But The Whale, I think that's the right choice off of here.
Batman actually got a nomination. Oh my god.
Although Elvis is also good, but I will give this one a pass. This was the right choice. Original score. Oh boy. Here is a complete miss. Thumbs down. Wrong. What do you not see on this list?
Batman.
Yep.
There just is a stigma against superhero movies in the Oscars. You'll definitely notice it. Like, this year you see a lot of Black Panther, but that's because it's a Black Panther movie. If it was any other superhero, they would not have given it the light of day.
Right. Not only is the Batman not being nominated for original score the wrong choice, by far it's the winner. I don't remember any of these. I have seen all of these movies.
Yeah.
Of course John Williams is getting nominated. Doesn't mean I remember it. I don't remember this score. I've seen this movie twice already. Don't remember it. I don't remember that one. This one, I guess, it's got that time period edge, but come on. The Batman score fully immerses you in that film. I think we talked about this. The score brings to life and gives character to the city of Gotham, and it works in that movie.
Score is an underrated part of character writing. As somebody who, you might know, makes music, it is important. It is essential to establishing a setting or character to get the tone right. You need to be able to the music can carry a movie. Right. Just look at the Star Wars movies and how iconic those scores are.
Yeah.
You could argue that those scores carry the movie. Score is one of the most undersold and most important parts of movies, and the fact that they can miss this hard on it, I think, shows that you cannot trust the Oscars because they don't know.
Yeah. We talked about this before when we were referring to, there's doing your job and then there's excelling at your job, right? All of these are just doing their job. Yes, they work in the movie. They don't stand out in a bad way. But when the movie's over, it's completely forgettable, and I can't remember a single piece of score. The Batman, I still remember. I've seen it. I've seen that twice. Just as I've seen this one twice. I've seen The Fabelmans twice. I've seen that one once, and I don't remember any of these scores. I remember the Batman score, and it worked so well. So wrong choice, fail. Original song. I actually have seen RRR. This is a 3-hour-long Bollywood movie. I was going to say I agree. However, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Do you remember the song at all?
No.
Do you remember that Lady Gaga did a song for Top Gun Maverick?
Nope.
Do you? I remember the One Republic song they did for Top Gun Maverick. You remember the volleyball scene? Remember that song? Do you remember that one? That was One Republic. Where was that nomination?
You'll notice a bias with the Oscars is what, like, they tend to go for like the slower songs winning and being nominated. Sometimes they'll acknowledge the faster ones, like that one.
Yeah, that's not a slow song.
But that's probably because it was one of the only songs that, people were actually clamoring for the win. If it wasn't an obvious pick, they probably wouldn't have even considered it. But
based on this, I'm going to go from the right choice to indifferent. I was there, but I really think
it can be the right choice, but they still missed on a nominee.
That's true. I guess since I don't think he would have won. But that's just, you had the right movie, but the wrong nomination. That's what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll give it a thumbs up.
Best picture. Here we go.
Centered. Forgot to mention this, I think, at the beginning. The criteria for us to do each year as we do it, I have to have seen every single Best Picture nominee, as well as the winner for Best Animated Feature. And then,
have you seen Women Talking?
I have. Again, I've seen them all. So I'm going to go through this and tell you which ones deserved, before we even talk about the winner, which ones deserved the nomination.
This is going to be good.
Yes. This one, I would argue no, but I completely understand why it's here. I'm not surprised at all. No, but I can see it. I can only see this one because of James Cameron, but absolutely not. You know what? No. Nah. Yes, I can see this one. Over the other stuff on here, yes. No. Yes. No. If anything, this would have made my worst movies of the year list. This might have been the worst movie I had seen this year. And probably not. So what is that?
What's
maybe half?
Something I'm going to point out, actually, that would have been really interesting. this could have been the year that there would have been 2 animated features in Best Picture if they cared enough about animation. Which I would have put both Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish as Best Picture nominees.
For Best Picture, kind of like international feature, the reason it was extended to 10 movies and it's always filled with 10 movies seems to be just to give recognition to, I don't know, underground movies or foreign films or movies that really don't deserve anything else just so they get on here. Like, I don't think Women Talking had a single other nomination.
Neither did Avatar.
I think it has a visual effects nomination.
Oh, okay.
But really, visual effects makes it Best Picture. It looks nice, really. This is too many. This is way too many nominees. Most of these don't belong here. If we picked 5, if we only had 5, I would say everything. I would say Elvis, Fabelmans, Top Gun Maverick. That's 4, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll throw them Banshees, probably. Does that sound like a really solid lineup? You have probably Everything Everywhere versus Top Gun.
And we know who's winning that.
And we know who's, like... Look, I really like Top Gun. This is probably my favorite movie of the year. And I agree with it getting a Best Picture nominee. Yeah. I don't know if it's really a Best Picture win. Again, down to the criteria. This was the most important movie of the year. This saved theaters. It was probably hands down the most entertaining movie of the year. It was arguably the most well-crafted movie of the year. But does that mean it's Best Picture? Was it the best film? What makes it best film? Right? Like, is it the one that's got the most checkboxes on all these other categories? Or is it the one that was the best experience?
Honestly, I think we should probably just do one video talking about all the categories.
All the categories, yeah. We'll probably get to that.
We'll also have our opinions throughout these, but...
I guess I'll have to agree. I ultimately feel Top Gun Maverick is the better movie, and I do believe it should have won Best Picture. Although...
in another year. Once again, Everything Everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
If it wasn't here, this year would look a lot different.
If you asked me, I think hands down Top Gun Maverick wins Best Picture. But I think I am not surprised at all that Everything Everywhere wins. I think it won enough categories. I think it's solid enough places. This is not the wrong answer. So I will agree. Personally, I think Top Gun Maverick. Okay.
Production design.
Now, this is set design, right? That's what we're going for.
But, yeah.
But because most things are CG nowadays, they changed it to production design.
Which is why Avatar gets a nomination for some reason.
So, more or less, world building is what this Oscar is. All Quiet, sure. But no, I think Elvis. This is a miss. I think this is Elvis's win. I don't think Elvis didn't win anything, did it?
No, I don't think it did.
So, I think this will be a miss. Sure, All Quiet looks nice. They got big fields for World War I. They got the right countries, whatever. But it's not like we've never seen that before. When's the last Elvis biopic you saw?
I think this one probably comes down to like their personal tastes in production design.
I mean,
and
Avatar,
it's another one of those amorphous categories.
If anything, Avatar's biggest strength was that the world looked nice. But
did it have any other strengths?
No. So this, I mean, I would say Elvis for this one. I'm gonna mark this one as a miss. I just don't.
I think that's only like 3 misses so far, though. So that's still pretty good.
This one's more of a nitpick miss, but I just that bothers me. I don't know. Yeah. And then blah blah blah. I think we only got
sound.
3 more. Oh yeah. Okay. So
which
sound?
They combined sound editing or sound mixing and then sound design into just sound, which I think was a good call. But
what else was a good call was giving Top Gun Maverick this one. Yeah. Absolutely correct.
And Batman got a nomination.
Which is also correct.
Yeah.
So no complaints here. Visual effects. Wrong.
Oh.
This one is a complete wrong miss. Avatar only won because they spent $1 billion on it. That is it. That is the only reason it wins.
See, the problem with Avatar is that they say it's not an animated feature. It's an animated feature.
Beginning to end.
Would that disqualify it from visual effects if they considered it an animated feature? I would argue yes. I would also argue that if they considered it an animated feature, it wouldn't have gotten a Best Picture nominee. But, that's just me.
But James Cameron, that's why.
I think Avatar literally just cheated. They submitted an animated feature into visual effects and got the win for that.
Again, with criteria and what counts here, is visual effects fully CGI? Is it practical effects? As far as I can tell, it's both. Visual effects means visual effects in terms of practical and...
Top Gun Maverick was revolutionary, and they didn't care.
If we're counting practical effects, which I think they are, there's one right answer here, and you got it wrong. Unbelievable. Like that, watch the behind the scenes for this movie. Insane.
Honestly, just watch the behind the scenes for every Tom Cruise movie you have. It's going to be crazy, no matter what.
They're worth it probably every time. So wrong, miss. Writing adapted screenplay, women talking. They actually won for something.
Yeah.
Glass
Onion was adapted. Interesting. I did not realize that Glass Onion got any nominations.
That is wrong. That was one of the worst written movies, especially in the mystery genre. That is bad. Top Gun Maverick for writing, honestly, not its strength, but it's so simple is why it makes it so good. It's simplicity. So I will be indifferent on this one because I don't think any of these had a particularly strong script. Honestly, out of what's here, I don't have a problem with women talking winning, but I'm going to mark it as indifferent.
Yeah.
Original screenplay, I say correct.
Yeah.
This is one you got right because
triangle to win.
What? Okay. To be fair, I think Triangle of Sadness would make a far better book, which is probably based on a book anyway.
No, it's an original screenplay.
I take it all back. It's horrible. Don't ever watch it. But it would, if they did make it a book, it would be a million times better as a book. Don't they have a book like that where everyone like crashes on a desert island and then they all betray each other?
That's just Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, awful. I hated the book in high school. I hate the movie. Everything Everywhere. Fine. All right. That's everything. Let me know if you think we missed on any. If you have any opinions you think we got wrong, or
we probably did miss on one or two things that we just forgot. But there's a lot of years to go through. We're gonna be bound to miss a couple things.
That's kind of what happens when you watch YouTube videos, though. You get opinions. So
and these are just our opinions.
Rian Johnson.
Of course, my opinions are more correct than other opinions, but we don't need to worry about that. But we can all agree that Glass Onion should not have gotten a
what is
writing
that?
on.
That is horrible. Did you even watch it with us?
No, but I just know how bad of a reputation it has.
So the next one we do will be a year that we think they got it majority wrong, which, spoilers, will be the year prior. So
we'll try and flip-flop on positive, negative as much as we can. There's probably going to be more negative than positive, but that's just how the Oscars work. So we'll see as we go.
All right. So thank you for watching.
Bye.